हेलो एवरीबॉडी एंड वेलकम बैक। दिस इज स्वाति गुप्ता, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं फाइनेंशियल बजट 2021 की। आई विल सिंप्लीफाई इट फॉर यू, डोंट वरी। बिफोर वी गो अहेड, व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इज व्हाट एक्चुअली द बजट इज। Finance budget is simply nation's financial annual statement. It is presented by finance minister. What actually happens is the planned incomes and expenditures are taken into account by various states, union territories and other bodies. It is then presented to finance minister. Finance minister further takes it to different financial bodies and then discusses it. इधर क्या डिस्कस होता है? सिंपली क्या सोर्सेज ऑफ फाइनेंसेस रहेंगे, इसके अलावा क्या एलोकेशन रहेंगे. नाउ द प्राइमरी सोर्स ऑफ इनकम्स फॉर द गवर्नमेंट इज जनरली द टैक्सेस, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस दैट इज इनकम टैक्स एंड द इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स दैट इज एक्साइज, कस्टम एंड द GST. नाउ it can also earn from asset sale and the divestments. Now come to the expenditure part. Where it will spend? It can spend it two ways: revenue expenditure and the capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure like the salaries, pensions of the employees, whereas capital expenditure is like welfare of the society, developing infrastructure, the dams, roads, etc. Now, whenever the expenditures exceed the revenue portion, it creates a budget deficit. The finance budget 2021 will be simplified into three portions. Firstly, we'll discuss about the taxation reliefs and reforms that have been brought in. Secondly, we'll talk about how the government is recently planning to restore and restructure the major hit that has been caused by COVID-19. And thirdly, how does this government plans to solve this budget deficit? Let's move ahead. Now let's talk about what finance budget 2021 has to offer for the taxation reforms. Firstly, there are no major changes to the slab rates under direct tax, which is a very relief to us. Secondly, government has tried to lessen the burden and simplify it for all. How? Let's see. Firstly, extension of Vivad Se Vishwas scheme until 28th February 2021. Secondly, reduction in tax assessment reopening from 6 years to 3 years. Thirdly, lower litigation with small taxpayers. That is, it has introduced a faceless dispute resolution panel. Next, increase in tax audit limits from 5 crores to 10 crores. Next, increase in tax audit limits from 5 crores to 10 crores for the assessees who have less than 5% cash transactions. Next, relief to senior citizens who have age 75 or over, who have only pension and interest income are waived off with the requirement of filing income tax returns. Some relaxation for NRIs as well. There have been rules introduced for removing double taxation hardships. Next, dividend will be exempted from TDS. Advance tax on dividends will only be applicable and will be attracted only on declaration or payment of dividends. Next, foreign investors will also benefit from lower treaty rate. Tax holiday for capital gain for aircraft leasing companies have been announced. On to that, deduction of interest on affordable housing loans have been extended till March 2022. जो earlier 1.5 लाख की लिमिट मिलती थी ATEEA में, वो March 31st 2022 तक के लिए एक्सटेंड कर दी गई है. इसके अलावा टैक्स हॉलीडे ऑन अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स हैव बीन एक्सटेंडेड टिल 31st March 2022. On the top of all this, the capital gains, the interest income and the dividend income will be pre-filled in your ITRs, that is income tax returns. Tax holiday for startups plus the capital gain exemption on the investment done in startups have been extended till 31st March 2022. Also, instead of giving a one big budget, there have been multiple mini budgets that have been announced by government and the RBI, which totals to approximately 27 lakh crore rupees, which is approximately 13% of the Indian GDP. Stock markets have reacted so well to this finance budget. Nifty reached 14,200 points, which is approximately 4.7% jump. Now let's discuss the next part of this finance budget, which is about how the government is planning to allocate this budget into different sectors. First comes as health and wellness sector. I think we all were expecting this. This is the most anticipated investment allocation. That is, it has allocated 2,83,000 crores in the health and wellness sector. It is approximately 137% increase from the last year. Now, from this allocated funds, two major things will be done. Firstly, approximately 30,000 health and wellness care centers will be developed in both rural and urban areas. Secondly, approximately 35,000 crore rupees has been allocated for vaccine and has been announced that additional help will be given if required.
Next, we look into what our finance budget 2021 has to offer about growth and investment sector. Our finance minister specifically announced and emphasized on building Atmanirbhar Bharat. It will be done by creating more employment opportunities as well as creating and building infrastructure facilities. Nextly, public and private partnership mode at major ports will be allowed. Onto that, national infrastructure pipelines will be laid out. Public transport outlay of approximately rupees 18,000 crore has been estimated. Metro light in Tier 2 cities are also welcomed. In addition to this, 11,000 kilometers of national highway corridor in the states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal and Assam will be completed by March 2022. Also, agricultural cess of rupees 2.5 per litre has been proposed for petrol and rupees 4 per litre for diesel. This cess will be on small items and government will take care of it. It has promised that no additional burden will be laid on the final consumer. Let's talk about manufacturing sector. It has been announced that 7 mega textile parks will be created. In addition to this, production-linked incentive scheme has been announced in order to promote and create India as a global hub for production and export. And for this, government has planned an expenditure of approximately 5,54,000 crore rupees, which is approximately 35% higher than the previous year. Also, there has been an increase in foreign direct investment in insurance sector for approximately from 49% to 74%. This has been done with some safeguards and promising that there will be growth in this sector. Public sector bank recapitalization of approximately rupees 20,000 crore has been estimated for the financial year 2022. Finance Minister also said that a bill will be introduced regarding the setup of development finance institution. Let's come to the last portion of this financial budget 2021. In this, we will discuss how the government is planning to solve this at macro level. Firstly, there is a fiscal deficit for financial year 2021 of approximately 9.5%. This was almost anticipated since we could see that the revenues were too low this year due to pandemic hit and yet the government kept spending massively. Although the government is promising a lower fiscal deficit rate in the upcoming years. For the financial year 2022, it is estimated that 6.8% fiscal deficit will be there. And if it continues this way, for the fiscal year 2026, it will be approximately 4.5% fiscal deficit, which is a very good number. Now let's see how the government is planning to solve this fiscal deficit. Firstly, it has planned a borrowing of rupees 12 lakh crores. This digit is almost equal to the last budget. Secondly, it is planning divestment of 2 public sector banks and 1 general insurance company. Thirdly, it is planning to issue initial public offer of LIC. Also, sale of Air India and BPCL is estimated. Next to this, sale of non-core assets like surplus land will be carried out by special purpose vehicle. Lastly, Niti Aayog committee is constantly working on making a list of next PSUs that will be targeted for divestments. This was all about the key highlights of the Finance Budget 2021. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. मिलते हैं अपने अगले वीडियो में. Till then, take care, be safe, stay tuned.